It's time to react. Now, I know what you're thinking. I do. You're thinking, Adam, you don't make these kinds of videos. You're not a reactor. Pick a lane, buddy. Well, look, I would never propose to be a professional reactor, okay? I know that those guys work real hard at what they do. Well, let me tell you, this isn't happening by chance. No, this is no random video. It is my duty to react today, because Cowboy Bebop holds an extremely special place in my heart, and I must talk about it. How can I even call myself a fan if I'm not willing to talk to my computer screen about it? It's my favorite anime series of all time, bar none. Maybe Dragon Ball Z comes close, or Yu Yu Hakusho, just for nostalgia's sake. But, you know, maybe Trigun? Trigun's really good. But Cowboy Bebop is so on top that it's borderline hilarious. It is, in fact, my favorite story ever told. Not even kidding. Hell, I even bought this shirt just to make this video. I've had this shirt for 20 years because I'm a huge fan. I'm honestly pretty torn on whether or not to care about this adaptation. Anime adaptations almost never come out well. And for something that I love this much, it honestly seems like a bad idea to watch even the first 10 minutes of the first episode. But my curiosity is piqued. So piqued, I tell you. There's just no way I can avoid this thing when it drops. There's no way. And so instead I feel like I must engage with it head on. I gotta give it all of the attention and patience and understanding that I possibly can. I have to meet it at its own level and play fair with it. And I realize that I kinda hope everyone else does too. It's so easy to poop on these things the second they come out because it's not as good. But I'll just say it. I really want to like this one. So, nice and easy. Today my plan is to just sort of go through some of the news that's dropped, some of the videos that have dropped so far, and go through some of this stuff with you guys. I'm really excited because I've been holding off on a lot of this. Alright, so first things first, they dropped the live action opening credits sequence a week ago. Haven't seen it yet. The opening credits for the anime are the best opening credits for anything I've ever seen. The music, the animation, everything. It's just so iconic, and apparently they got the composer from the original to come back for the new one. So I'll shut up now. Let's see what happens. They even used the same song.
I think it's time to blow this thing.
Looks like my green screen.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
What? Oh, they're going full-blown homage. This is sick! Goosebumps, dude. Yeah, the guns. Oh, they should be kicking a little harder than that. That's okay. Oh, look at that. Whoa, that's the Pierre LeFou bad guy. Whoa! Yeah! Who's that? That's Julia, for sure. All the TVs, yeah. Wow, the hype is official. The hype is officially here. It's real. That was so kick-ass. I mean, that's kind of cheating. Like, they just it's not... What am I saying? I'm so excited. Okay, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. That was so sick. Let me put on a moment of the anime opening, just so that I can show... Just in case you guys haven't seen it.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together.
See, it's virtually the same thing. Like, all the way through, it's pretty much the same thing. But check this out. This is what I mean about the guns should have had more kick. Yeah, see, there's just something about that. The way it does the blur thing. Everything about this, like, style. Like, you can... This is from the 90s, you know? You can call this, like, old-looking animation if you want. I know that kids seem to like the CGI stuff better, but I was always a sucker for the hand-drawn. I guess it all has to do with what you grow up with, right? There's so much style incorporated into the way that this series was drawn, and edited too, and the shot composition. It's genius. It's so much more than what you get out of your typical like shonen anime today, where you got some really cool fight scenes, but largely everything is very flat and it's just characters talking to each other. And this show was like, well, it was like jazz. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is this announcement that they're bringing back the original series. They're going to make it more like, you know, easy to get your hands on, which is fantastic. And there's a little trailer for it here that I haven't seen yet that I really want to watch. I know I've already talked a little bit about how much I love this anime, but just a little more here. Let's talk about nostalgia for a second. This hit Western audiences for the first time in 2001, I think. So I was a young kid. A lot of you guys probably weren't even born. Think about that. So I was living in the United States. This is before Netflix or any streaming service, and the big channel was Cartoon Network. They had this block of anime series midday called, oh my god, Toonami. It was called Toonami. And they had this... Who voiced Tom? Was it Steve Bloom? It was Steve Bloom. Dude, this is crazy. Okay, so... the guy who voices Spike Spiegel, who in my opinion is the best anime dub performance of all time. Sorry, Goku, but Steve Bloom as Spike is just... I like to watch most anime series in their original language with subtitles. That's fine. I love to read. It's no big deal. But Cowboy Bebop is like the one major exception where you just have to watch it in English because the English actors are so good. So the guy that voiced Spike, Steve Bloom, also voiced this robot called Tom. Let me show you this.
Well, there are all kinds of pretenders out there, but only one Naruto. Keep it right here. Naruto will continue in a moment on Toonami.
So the way that Toonami did business, it was like a never-ending hype train for a variety of anime series. And these are series that run for like 300 episodes, and they would somehow cut these sizzle reels together, put this sick music in. They had Steve Bloom's voice, and it was just always so exciting to run home after school and tune in for this stuff. And this is why I think that streaming it's too bad, because like scheduled programming had its place, you know. It was really cool for a specific reason. Obviously, being able to watch however much you want, whenever the hell you want, is cool too, but it takes a little bit of the magic out of it. Anyway, I'm on a tangent here. So then, on the same network, they brought out something called Adult Swim. You had to stay up until like midnight to watch it. So it was like the cool thing, you know, it was the rebellious thing to stay up past your bedtime and watch this stuff that if your parents saw it, they'd probably be like, you can't watch this, what are you doing? So there was like Family Guy. Remember, that was the first time I ever saw Family Guy was on that block, and Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was the first like R-rated anime series I had ever seen. I was like a little DBZ kid, you know, I loved Dragon Ball Z so much, but I'd never seen anything with like blood or swearing or adult themes whatsoever, and so Cowboy Bebop just blew my mind. So let's watch the trailer for Funimation bringing it back.
Hi, amigos. You ready for some bounty info?
I'll take it.
Yes.
It's showtime!
I'm just an old-fashioned cowboy.
Yeah, you are.
You're a bounty hunter.
We'd like you to come
Sounded
along
weird.
with us. You got away!
All 26.
Watch your back!
Oh, that scene, man.
I'm not a criminal.
This is amazing.
Oh, that makes me sound more like a criminal.
It's complicated to be an outlaw nowadays.
Whoa!
Oh, dude. I've actually been rewatching this series over the past month. I'm about halfway through it for like the 5th or 6th time in my life. It's my favorite. I mean, I don't need to keep telling you that. So the reason that I'm so excited that they're doing this, that they're bringing the original back and giving it its spotlight again, is that I really hope people watch this first. This is one of those things, I think that when the live action drops, a lot of people are going to click on it because obviously Netflix is going to market the shit out of it. And so a lot of people are going to click on it who've never heard of it, who have no idea what it is. And their first impression is going to be the live action series, which is okay, but the anime is so good that I really do hope that people either try it out first or they see the live action and it inspires them to go back to this. Because if you watch the live action and you don't like it and you write off this story as a whole as a result of that, that sucks. That just sucks. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the pictures. They've dropped some promo imagery from the adaptation, and this is extremely exciting. So let's get into a little bit of the controversy and the just sort of the narrative that is being spun so far. So this is awesome. This image is like clearly it's them on board the Bebop, and that yellow couch is pretty iconic. Doesn't look exactly like it does in the series, but they're being as faithful as they can here. And like the costumes the characters are wearing, the looks of the characters, honestly, I'm on board with. There are some complaints. I'll talk about that in a second, but I think this looks awesome, man. It like really does feel like the Bebop to me. This shot in particular, that just gets me so ready to watch this show. It's just so cool, Like, how are they going to handle this? Everything's in outer space. There's so much stuff with ship battles and spacesuits, and like, is it going to look stupid? Is it going to look cartoony? Which is a weird way to put it. I don't know. I think from seeing this, I think it's going to look pretty cool, pretty stylized. So here's Danielle Pineda as Faye. I think she's the right pick. I think she's going to be awesome. There's obviously some complaints about like her not looking like the cartoon character, which... Okay, let's talk about Faye for a second. Faye is actually a great character. She's super fleshed out. She starts out feeling like just sort of a femme fatale kind of character, but she has a really good backstory that gets, doven into in a couple of different episodes. But there is sort of a side to her that is what they call fan service, which is, it's boobs and butts, it's cleavage and stuff like that, which is always awkward in a cartoon, if you ask me. And the fact that fans are hating on this poor actress for not, inspiring their imaginations the same way that a cartoon did, that's, why are you guys tweeting this stuff? But she actually has her own reaction to this that she posted right after the controversy began. I haven't watched this yet, so this is another thing that I would like to watch with you guys and react to.
Hey guys! So as you know, our Cowboy Bebop first look dropped today, which was so exciting. And I just wanted to address a couple of things that sort of keep coming up in the comments amongst fans. First, I wanted to apologize to the fans that I did not anatomically match the Faye Valentine character. Right. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. They looked everywhere for that woman and they couldn't find her. It's kind of weird. So they just went with my short ass. I know. Am I right? There was talk about like, can we put Daniela in a time machine and maybe give her different parents so she has different genetic information to sort of make her look better? It proved to be too complicated. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was I want to apologize that the outfit I'm wearing is not exactly what she wears in the anime. We tried, but doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappear, they rip. Sometimes it just got lost. Anyway, like I was saying, that original costume, they made a couple of them, but like I said, they got sort of slurped up in my various crevices, never to be retrieved again. So we needed to really build something that could withstand the test of time. So just,
That's how it ends. Just, Okay, awesome. Good on her for addressing that head on. B, for having a sense of humor about it when, like, realistically, like, the controversy is stemming from sort of a creepy place to begin with. And C, like, that's kind of like what Faye Valentine would say. So that felt in character to me. So not only did that make me like her more as a person, but it also made me more confident in her ability to portray this character. So, fuck yeah, Danielle Pineda. Moving on. Let's talk big turkey here. Spike Spiegel. All right. I'm happy to profess my love for this man any day of the week, any week of the year, you know? I just think he's the coolest character ever created. The way he's drawn, the way he's voiced. Again, Steve Bloom. Heck, yeah, man. The way that he's just this sort of badass, highly capable character, but he's got a broken heart, and you're learning about his past as the show goes on. Again, no spoilers. I won't spoil anything. I just feel like it's important to let you know how much I love Spike before we get into this additional controversy about John Cho playing the part. So here, he's looking badass. The suit looks right. I don't know about the popped collar. Maybe I should check myself. Maybe I'm wrong about the popped collar. Hold on. Yeah, no. Okay, it's kind of popped. It's like popped but not popped. It's a cartoon. It's hard to capture these things sometimes. All right, okay, fine. I'll give it a pass. I'll give the popped collar a pass for now. I like the headphones. It reminds me of the first scene from the Cowboy Bebop movie. Really, really good movie. I recommend watching it, but maybe watch the series first. Everything about this is it's on point. I think it looks really good. His hair's not green, but that's fine. Maybe it is green. Maybe it's just the light. Green hair is going to look kind of ridiculous anyway, so I'm kind of happy with what they've done here. Oh man, and here we've got, this looks like it's totally ripped out of episode 5, which is called Ballad of Fallen Angels. Not to wear my nerddom on my sleeve too hard here, but it's the best episode of the show, I think. And it's just, I can't believe how much they pack into 20 minutes. It's so cool. And there's a shootout in a church, so I'm really happy to see that they're going to be adapting this particular story beat. In episode 1, the first time we ever see Spike, he's training and he's lit in sort of a similar way. And so this is cool. This like even further makes me comfortable that they're going to homage this properly. And John Cho looking ripped for his age, man. And you know what? I've read a little bit about how seriously he is taking this role, and let's take a peek into that too. Cho turned 49 years old this summer. His Cowboy Bebop character is 27 years old in the anime. That's right. So it looks like in this interview he addressed this head on, which is similar to how Danielle Pineda approached it, which is I love that the cast is taking this seriously, because they don't have to, you know, like they could just take the job and take the money and whatever, the chips fall like what's that phrase? But these guys really seem to care about it. So like, look at this. The biggest fear that I had was I was too old. I knew people were going to have issues with my age and I had to get over it. Yes, John, excellent, and we have to get over it too. I'm not a person who says age is just a number or whatever. It was going to be harder physically, and I was going to look different than a 25-year-old guy. At some point, the opportunity is yes or no. Do you want to do it? And I did want to do it, so I wasn't going to stop myself from doing it. That's cool. Okay, cool. Like, yes, you could have passed on the opportunity to see if they picked a younger actor. I'm sure there's someone out there that would have portrayed a really good young Spike, but John Cho is obviously an actor who's worth his salt, man. He's done a lot of good movies. Have you seen Harold and Kumar? God damn. But I was a little upset when I first heard about this, but everything that has happened since then has kind of made me rebound on the idea. I think John Cho's the man for the job. Also, yeah, early into production, this was years ago now, he tore his ACL. He got, like, really injured doing a stunt on set. And he was all, saying, I felt very guilty that I let the production down. Like, dude, like, no one can stop that sort of thing from happening. And he just worked his ass off to get back into shape after that. Can you imagine 49 years old, and you've just whipped yourself into shape to play a 27-year-old character? Like, you've pulled it off. You're totally shredded. Your whole sense of being revolves around playing this character. And then you get injured, and you have to wait it out, and then you have to work even harder to get back into that shape. Like, just, I don't know. Kudos to John. I am so ready to see this happen. And last but not least, Polygon posted this awesome article where they had an interview with the showrunner, Andre Nemec, to discuss sort of the direction that he plans on taking with the series. I read through this whole thing. I recommend you do too, because it's an awesome read. I'll drop the link to it in the video description. But I just want to look at some of the key points here, because I thought this was badass, and it made me more excited than ever. I was fond of saying, this is Cowboy Bebop. It's pretty hallowed ground, so let's not fuck it up. That's how he opens it. That's how he opens the interview. So, why remake Cowboy Bebop? He says he wouldn't dare try. Instead, to bring it to Netflix, the showrunner's writing team studied the stars that perfectly aligned to make the original version what it was, then dared to realign them. That's a cool way to put that. I like it. They're not going for the direct remake. They're looking at all of the individual pieces that went into this soup, and they're stirring it up a little bit, you know? We would look at sets, we would look at props, we would look at costumes, we would look at the edits, we would talk about all of these things, not to ape the anime, but to live in the spirit of the anime. Badass. I think the issue with so many anime adaptations is that they try to recreate it almost too faithfully. They go for all of the most iconic imagery and like story beats, and what you end up with is something that just kind of looks silly. Death Note is one that comes to mind. You know, you try to copy these characters' hairstyles and everything a little too faithfully, and what you end up with is it just kind of feels like a high-budget cosplay convention, which is cool, and that's kind of what this genre is. So I'm not harping on that. I'm not harping on the way that it is. But I'm excited to hear that Cowboy Bebop is going to take things in a slightly different direction. They looked at The Big Sleep, they looked at spaghetti westerns, they looked at classic Bonnie and Clyde, they looked at Kubrick, they looked at Dirty Harry, oh, Clint Eastwood. You feeling lucky, punk? Lethal Weapon, getting on the comedy side. The Crow, looking at some macabre stuff. Pretty extensive and expansive list put together, and we spent a lot of time really looking at the inspirations. Dude, this gets me so... I mean, I imagine that most showrunners do this with their team before they go into production. At least I would hope they do. But just knowing that in this case, for this very, very, very important show, they did do this, it gets a big hell yeah from me. Every episode of the Netflix series will nod to the anime in subtle ways, be it through props, names, or visual references. I would challenge almost any superfan on this show to see if they can find all the references. Oh, challenge accepted, Namek. Or Namek, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I will totally try to find all the references, 100%. Jet Black as a black ex-cop in 2021 may have broader socio-political implications in the show, but instead of getting into specifics on the character's new arc, Nemec homes into why they found the perfect match of actor and material. Jet Black, at his core, despite all of the hardships that are always presented to him in the anime, is an optimist at heart. So true. Jet is kind of like, he's almost like the ship's mother in a way. He's always like hanging around, trying to instill optimism in everybody on board, keeping everybody fed, getting mad when the children fly the coop, you know, that kind of character. And he's so funny, and he's also got such a great voice. Portrayed by John Bo Billingsley, just an absolutely killer actor as well. And I think in meeting Mustafa and in talking with him and going through the casting process, he presented such power and such a beautiful spirit. Mustafa's fond of saying something in his sweetest, most beautiful way. Hey man, I love love. Yeah, I like to imagine he said that during his audition. He again is such a powerful presence, but with this beauty and the softness inside of him, it was unquestionable that he had the essence of Jet Black. That's awesome. So yeah, I really feel like Mustafa Shakir is going to own this role. He's just going to absolutely own it. He looks like the perfect Jet Black, if you ask me. And I can't wait to see how they include like the dynamics between the three main characters in this show. I can't wait to see how the adaptation handles this stuff. The spirit of Cowboy Bebop was in the details, but the real soul came when Netflix's crew handed over the footage to Yoko Kanno, who returned to score the series. Bam! I mean, obviously we've seen that in the intro we watched earlier, but I mean, that was just the same song. So obviously he's going to compose some new stuff for this as well. And one of the best things about Cowboy Bebop is that every episode of this series seems to focus on a different genre of music. The showrunner of the original anime, Shinichiro Watanabe, he's very upfront about his love for music, and you can just feel it. Every series he's ever created, and I've seen most of them, it seems to stem from his love for music, and it's built around it. And Cowboy Bebop is, I think, the best version of that. So Yoko Kanno in the series really had his work cut out for him, because every one of these 26 episodes has a different style to it. It's either jazz, or it's heavy metal, or it's reggae. It literally changes every episode, and that's part of why I love it so much, and that's part of what makes it so endlessly rewatchable. I'm so excited that they're bringing him back. That's a huge grab. Anybody who loves the music from Cowboy Bebop is going to love beyond what Yoko has done for us on this show. It is really sensational. I will hear music pieces come in, we will talk about character and theme, and then when I get those pieces, there have been more times than I can remember that I hear something and I'm like, a smile comes to my face. All smiles coming to my face right now, that's for damn sure. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and bearing with me as I try out a new video format. I'm just beyond excited about this series, and it comes out on November 19th. So you know that I'm going to be watching that day one. Maybe I'll do some sort of video about it when it comes out. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea, if you think that this was a good idea. Did I teach you something today about Cowboy Bebop? Did I get you excited to watch it? On a closing note, please watch the anime. Please watch the anime. If you're going to watch anything, watch the anime first. Just get that into you. Your soul deserves it. It is such a good series. Again, I'm a little bit biased, but holy hell, it's such a good show. And I have all the faith in the world for this live action adaptation. I'm going to watch it. The point of this video is to get other people excited to watch it too, but watch the anime first. Just do it. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being part of my invisible audience and for hanging out with me today. I'll see you for the next one.
I understand. Bang.